Hey there, my name is David Perdue. I'm the CEO and founder of MyNAMS, Novice to Advanced Marketing System, and I'm extremely excited to welcome you all to this special presentation called 12 Steps to Building a Better Business. It's not one, not two, not even 3 steps, but 12 steps. So thank God I got you for 3 hours or more, right? Because it'll take a little while. Well, all right, so maybe not 3 hours. Maybe we'll do this as quickly as we can do this today and get you out of here as fast as we can. But I've got a tremendous amount of training for you and content to go through. So I promise to move along as quickly as possible here. And at the end of this, I'll show you how to dig in really deeply into the 12 steps to building a better business and everything else that you need to be successful online in a business that you love and one that loves you back. So that's the key, a business that you love and one that loves you back. And if you think I've got something to sell you at the end of this, you may be right. Type in the chat box, do you think I've got something for you at the end? Yes or no? Type in the chat box. So Melva says yes. Ron is from Jupiter, by the way. Ron says yes. Oh, yes. Everybody says yes. Well, gosh, I can't disappoint you. So yes, I've got something to sell you at the end, but it is something that's going to make your life incredibly good. So I won't disappoint you. But you got to stay till the very end because we have a special offer at the very end of this that you will not see anywhere else ever. And I want you to make sure that you stay on the webinar because you're going to see something you never see anywhere else. So listen, I think when we're done that you'll all agree that this training makes more sense than nearly anything else you've come across online today. Doing business online, I've been doing business online since 2005. I've made nearly every mistake you can make, and I've learned from them all, and I teach my members and my students how to avoid those that trapped me. I've been knee-deep in niche marketing and affiliate marketing all that time. I've done 14 live NAMS workshops. We're going to talk a lot more about those with more than 135 outside instructors who came on board to teach thousands of students. And we did that over an 8-year period. We taught thousands of students. And we've done more than 150 live events, virtual events, and another couple of hundred online presentations. So been around a while, taught a lot. My goal today is that you discover how simple it is to create or improve your business once you see how important the fundamentals are to your business at all levels. I always come back to the fundamentals, and we are going to focus on the fundamentals today completely. The content I'm sharing with you today will help you if you're just starting out, but if you already have a business and you need to improve it, well, this is the right place for that too. As an entrepreneur who lives in the fundamentals of business, you'll make solid decisions that feel absolutely right, but may shock your friends, family, and colleagues. Those decisions come from your heart. This is the key. Those decisions come from your heart, but they're propped up with confidence and clarity. So let's jump in and see what we've got here. Before we get into that, though, I got a couple of questions for you. I'm going to need a lot of validation, by the way. I want to make sure that you all know this. I need to get some interaction from you and some feedback from you so that I know that you're participating here. So I want you to participate when I ask a question and jump in here and ask those questions along the way. You can drop them in the chat box, and Jennifer will collect them, and we will make sure that we address those at the end. But the first question I have for you is, what is your business experience now? Is it A, haven't started a business yet? Is it B, I've got a site and I'm making a few sales? Or is it C, I'm making pretty good money already with my online business? So type that in the chat box, A, B, or C. I want to know the experience level of the folks on this call, so go ahead and type in A, haven't started a business yet, B, have a site, making a few sales, and C, making pretty good money already with my online business. Put your answer in the chat box now, and look at all those answers coming in. So we got a lot of A's and a lot of B's, not a lot of C's. A lot of A's and a lot of B's. Okay, good, good. This is great. You're in the right spot because you're going to find out when we're done. Oh, there's a C. Love it. Welcome. Did I see a D just flip by? I hope I did not see a D. I got a C. Yeah, great. Okay. So this is really important to understand where you are in your business now for me, so that I know what we're dealing with and how to address this. But I will tell you going forward that these 12 steps that we're going to focus on are going to help you no matter where you are in your experience level. So this next question I have for you is an open-ended question, and I want you to type in the chat box, what's your biggest issue right now with your business or getting started? If you've already got a business, tell us what the issue is with that business. If you're just getting started, tell us what the issue is with just getting started. Type that in the chat box too. What's your biggest issue with your business right now or just getting started? And I'm going to wait just a minute until we collect a few answers here on that one. So Patricia says getting clients. Let's see. Richard says it's a high-cost item. Shipping is difficult to determine. Should I not have dollars online and send quotes later? Kathy says driving traffic to her site. Peggy says she's just stuck. Marion says the technical part. Ron says just getting online. Rick says time is his biggest issue. That's a good one. I love that. Diane says moving clients from project-based to retainers. Ute says getting the foundation and funnel organized. Robin, yep, just one. Your biggest issue, just one. Sorry, you got more than one. She says technical know-how for the website elements. Ron says finding customers. Where to start, who to trust is what Andrew says, and he says, although I know you are good, David. Thank you, Andrew. Melva says turning one-to-one to group coaching. Yep, I understand that one, Melva. Been there, done that. Joy says advertising budget and help from VAs starting over. Need to simplify and focus, John says, on getting sales. John says on getting sales. And Eden says just doing it. Yep, that's important, just to do it. Okay, so now that I know a little bit more about you, let's look at the 12 steps to building a better business. And this is not a secret. I'm willing to tell the world about these 12 steps because only the most committed people will do these. I guarantee you. And I hope that's you. So let's define a better business first before we start going through these 12 steps. In my opinion, a better business is a business that works for you, and you don't have to work for it. It doesn't mean that you don't have a lot of work to do in building it, but if you build it the right way, it's simple, scalable, and sustainable without sucking the life out of you. So if you agree that that's a good definition for a better business, type yes in the chat box, please. So the definition that I gave you is it's a business that works for you and you don't have to work for it. Is that good? We agree on that? That's a better business? Excellent. Excellent. Good. A lot of yeses there. That's great. Okay, so here are the 12 steps. We're just going to run through them quickly here. And these 12 steps are from my experience of being online since 2005 and going through having many ups and many downs. So the first is why, and this is the best kept secret of all successful online business people, understanding your why. 2 is finding a niche with both passion and money. So the big debate is passion or money. We want you to find a niche with both. 3 is how to stay focused on your one thing. 4 is recurring income, and this is the only business strategy that really matters, recurring income. 5 is why your business relationships are the key to your success. 6 is making money today with affiliate marketing. 7 is traffic is the backbone of your business, but how do you get it? 8 is traffic is a waste of time without conversions. And 9, if you don't track it, you don't have a business. 10 is it's working, now what? 11, stop fretting about product creation. This is the easiest thing you'll ever do. 12 is how to find partners for win-win promotions. Those are the 12 steps. Now, that seems pretty simple, and it is pretty simple, but so few people actually do all of this. So here's the thing. If you print this out And this slide right here, you just do a screen grab of this slide right here and put that on your wall as a checklist, you've gotten your money's worth, because these 12 items are going to help you build a business that will be simple, scalable, and sustainable. That's what we're after. Remember, a business that works for you. So if you're ready to get started, type yes in the chat box, and I really appreciate all your interaction here. That really helps me get going. So we are moving forward. Yep, great, bunch of yeses. So one of my friends recently said that I'd taken a hatchet to my business in the last year, and she was right. I chopped it into a pile of kindling, and then I set it on fire. Let me tell you, burning down a business, a successful business, so that you can rebuild it into something much stronger and much more rewarding was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And I want to tell you that story about how and why I did that, but I don't want to encroach on your time. So if you want to hear the story, please type yes in the chat box. I'll tell you why I did that and how I did that and why it was so important. So type yes in the chat box if you want to hear that story. Okay, good, because I've got slides lined up for that. That's excellent. All right, so the NAMS workshop is the thing I set the torch to. It was the most visible part of my business. Most people thought it was the only part, and that was kind of part of the problem. If you've heard of the NAMS workshop or attended the workshop, type yes in the chat box. If you attended the workshop, type what you thought of the workshop in the chat box. I'm sure lots of people here. I've seen some people here who attended the workshop and loved it. Virginia says yes, they were great. So type in the chat box if you have heard of it or you've attended it. Appreciate that. All right, so yeah, lots of resources many years ago. Melva attended many years ago. Diane said she'd heard of it but never attended. Ian said he'd heard of it but never attended. Yeah, Jean says yes, loved it. We loved Jean. She was an instructor at the workshop. That's great. Okay, so we had a great reputation and a fantastic brand, the kind of intangible asset that every business nurtures and cherishes. So twice a year we gathered in Atlanta for in a big hotel with 250 to 350 people for fundamental business training at 4 different levels. We focused on university-style training at the 100, 200, 300, and 400 levels. You know, those were classes like you have as the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, based on your experience level in your business. And that's why I asked that question earlier about your experience levels, so I could understand where you were. Those classes were all, with that workshop was all led by 45 instructors in 5 different rooms, and they were running simultaneously. That alone was an amazing feat, but it was a logistical nightmare. The workshop didn't satisfy me any longer. That was the problem. While it appeared on the outside that everything was hunky-dory with the workshop, I didn't feel like it had the impact that I wanted any longer. Students weren't following through the way I wanted them to, and I felt like that the follow-through is where the success is. So if you're not following through on the training that we were doing, I didn't feel like we were being as successful as we needed to be with the students. I wanted the students to be more successful. So, no, it is an incredible experience to go through this and make sure that the students were actually doing the training, making sure that they did the work that we taught at those workshops with the instructors. So finally, I was just getting more and more miserable with this and a little more stressed out. And I finally realized that something had to change about the workshop. Now, I'd experienced this once before, and it was something that a friend of mine called divine discontent. And I didn't know what that meant, and that is Brian Tracy there. And Brian Tracy is a great motivational speaker, and he says divine discontent always comes before a positive life change. If you were perfectly satisfied, you would never take any action to improve or change your circumstances. Only when you're dissatisfied for some reason do you have the inner motivation to engage in outer behaviors that lead you onward and upward. I would love to say that I was smart enough to come up with this definition myself, but I'm not. Brian Tracy, though, was outstanding in the way that he led people through his motivational training. No one ever said that divine discontent feels all that good, though. So it's an uncomfortable place to be. And once I put a label on it, once we put a label on it, a lot of folks recognize that they too are in this state called divine discontent. If you felt divine discontent based on his definition here, that being dissatisfied for some reason, when you're dissatisfied for some reason, you have the inner motivation to engage in the outer behaviors that led you onward and upward. Say that in the chat box. Agree or disagree with this. And if you've been there, say yes. Say yes if you've been there. I've been there a couple of times, actually. Made big changes because of this. So, yeah, thanks for putting that in there. That's excellent. Yep, it's a good definition. I love it. Virginia says she's been there more than once. Frank says yes. Good, good. Lots of folks in here. Yep. All right. So I know what divine discontent is. Now what do I do? Well, the NAMS workshop is the NAMS workshop. I loved the NAMS workshop. Let me just say that. I love the NAMS workshop. And I love the instructors. But the purpose of the workshop was getting muddied by the social event. It had become a family reunion for the students and the instructors. That's not a bad thing. It was just not the primary goal of the workshop. So 3 months before NAMS 14, which was the last one, I began telling folks that the upcoming workshop would be the last one. No one believed me. I mean, no one would take me seriously when I would say that. Maybe it was because I'd said it before. Maybe I'd been giving some indications that it had to end at some point. But for some reason, no one believed me. But my stress levels were going through the roof because I was really nervous that I was making a huge mistake. And, you know, everybody that I was telling this to told me I was making a huge mistake. They all said I was crazy. 6 weeks before the final workshop, though, I went to the doctor and started having a round of tests because I thought I was having a heart attack. Seriously, thought I was having a heart attack. And after 3 weeks of tests, including blood work and EKG and a stress test, they all came back normal. But my heart was still pounding out of my chest, so I was feeling this incredible stress around the workshop. And then at the final workshop and the final Sunday session, I said goodbye to the NAMS workshop from the stage. People were stunned when they realized that, in fact, NAMS 14 was the end of the NAMS workshop tradition. The next day, my chest pains were gone, though. That's the amazing part. The next day, my chest pains were gone. And so was my identity, by the way, of 8 years. Everywhere I went, people recognized me as the NAMS guy. Now, who would I be? I mean, the NAMS guy, it was a place where I was really, really comfortable. So I just made the hardest decision of my life. My business was smoldering, and there I stood with a match in my hand, basically. I had set it on fire. And, you know, I'd had this experience once before when I built my house, and I was standing in the where the basement was going to be, and it was just a big hole in the ground, and I stood there and I looked around and said, what have I done? And that's exactly the same feeling that I had then. So you tell me, was it foolish, brave, or just good business to do this, to burn down something successful and move to the next thing? Was it just foolish, brave, or good business? Type in the chat box which you think it was, or if you have another opinion about what it was, type that in the chat box as well. Foolish, brave, or just good business? So Peggy says it was a good decision for you. Your body was telling you something. Absolutely. I appreciate that, Peggy. That's one of the indicators that we have to listen to. Ian says a very wise move. Cletus says a good business move. Dane says it's a leap of faith. That's right. It is a leap of faith. Brave and good, brave, wise, good decision. Thank you. Thank you. Well, good. I'm getting positive reinforcement for this. I'm feeling better already. So whether it was foolish or brave, it had to be done. It was, if I was going to live and work true to my values, I had to do this. I'd known it 2 years earlier, but I couldn't quite make the decision. What finally changed was I got incredibly clear on what I wanted out of my life. And that was the why. I knew why I was in business. This is step 1 in our 12 steps, getting really clear about your why. Why you want to have an online business. I said this earlier, knowing your why is the best kept secret of all successful online business people. But we hear this so much, how can it possibly be a secret? Well, the secret is, and this is really what that statement should say, I think, is that committing to understand your why is the best kept secret of all online business people. No one wants to spend time digging into their why. No one wants to spend time doing that because it's hard. This word commitment, by the way, in that committing to understand your why, it will come up a lot. That's the key attribute of every successful entrepreneur. Being committed. You always have to be committed. So if you can't commit to understanding your why, if you can't commit to your business, then you're probably not going to have a good time in the future. So this is essential to understanding that you can build a business that's fulfilling and fun, understanding your why. If you don't know your why, nothing else really matters. Even if you're successful in business, not knowing your why will eventually erode your happiness. This doesn't come naturally to me, by the way. I'm just not that kind of guy who hangs out in the self-help section of a bookstore looking for the right mindset book. In fact, if you ask me, I think I've got a pretty good mindset. But my mindset, it's taken me a long time to really focus on building that mindset for my business and for my life. I was always a doer. You know, give me a task, I can do it. Give me a problem, I'll try to solve it. But make me dig deep into why I'm doing it, not so much. I had to commit to a process to understand my why at the very core level. And that's scary. It's scary for everybody. But notice I said I had to commit to a process. That commit comes up again. It's the commitment. But this one thing, this understanding my why, has changed everything about my business, about my life. And actually, I'm getting more time. I've got more time on my hands these days. I get to do more. And it also allowed me to torch the NAMS workshop without any regret. I mean, maybe a little bit of regret, but mostly no regret because I knew it was the right thing to do. So I want to do a little experiment. For the next 30 seconds, I want you to think about what your why is and type that into the chat box. If you don't know what your why is, type in, I don't know. Be honest and participate. You do it now. Just think about what the why is for your life and for your business. Type it into the chat box there. If you don't know why, just type in, I don't know. I'll wait about 30 seconds for that to happen. Wish I could play the Jeopardy music. We got a little time on our hands. No, it's not Jeopardy. What is it? Maybe it is Jeopardy. Okay, I'm going to start reading some of these. They're coming in now. So let's see. Make a difference in the world is what Kathy says. Andrew says to help other people. David says don't know. Good. Thank you for being honest, David. Robin says encouraging and empowering others. John says I haven't nailed it down. Thanks for being honest, John. Jean says legacy. I understand that one. Legacy. Peggy says making others feel and think and to help those in my target market. Okay? Spend time the way I want and earn income doing things I enjoy. That's Rebecca. And let's see. Richard says passive income. That's his why. To serve others with talents I have been blessed with. That's Cleta. Richard says semi-passive. Okay, he revised that. Semi-passive. Dane says to have residual income from doing what I love. Okay, that's good. To provide the best service I'm capable of providing, to leverage and share what I've learned over a lifetime is what Virginia says. Mary says to have more time with friends and family. Kathy says to help people enjoy peace of mind. Ron, I have a passion to do it. and I make my customers feel good by creating memories, I bet, that last forever. Being self-employed is Marion's. I've had enough of my job. Thought I was having a heart attack a few weeks back. I want to make a difference to others. That's what Ian says. Ron says, sorry for the bad typing on my phone. It's okay, Ron. Frank says, regain freedom to travel with my wife. Frank, you and I have pretty much the same. Joy says, get my story to the world. All right, so every business guru, every motivational speaker, every new age philosopher, they all say the same thing. Having the right mindset is essential to your happiness and success, but no one really tells you how to do that. Simon Sinek comes closest to that for me. If you haven't seen his TED Talk, look it up online. It's really awesome. He says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. I love that. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Simon Sinek is really kind of a brilliant guy. He's been able to synthesize his consulting business down to a very focused and appealing message that really resonates with a lot of folks, including Fortune 500 people. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So the goal was to discover the most important values in all areas of my life and live true to them. Now, this is about 2 years before the last NAMS workshop. Remember, I'm feeling this misery and this stress, and I'm thinking something has to change, but I really don't know what it is. So I had to dig in and figure it out. I had to move through that program that I created for myself to understand what my why was. So the result of that led me to understand completely that my big why is very simple. I love spending time with my wife, traveling, relaxing, and having fun. That's really it. It seems like a very selfish and self-indulgent thing, but you know, I'm old enough. I get to do this. I want to be able to spend more time with my wife, traveling, relaxing, and having fun. And if that's the only thing I ever do in my life, I'm a happy man, right? That's the picture of my wife and I on the left at the beach. That's up here, having fun. I mean, she looks pretty happy. I look pretty happy, and all we're doing is standing in front of a sunset, and you know, on the beach. So it's a really happy occasion for us. The one over here that's a picture of my wife and me in the nosebleed seats at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, watching our football team and its opening game this year. My wife is a football fanatic, and so we share that, and we have a lot of fun together traveling and going to football games. We've been to every major college football stadium in the world, in the United States, that for the national championships games, and we really like to do that. Of course, we have to work sometimes. That's the downside of everything, but that's not the most important thing in our life, and we never lose sight of that. So the big question, of course, is how do you determine the most important thing in your life? With your big why. How do you do it? Well, too many people are miserable in their daily jobs, or they turn their business into a job, which then they become miserable in. And remember, I had to make these tough decisions because I had finally gotten to the spot where I needed to make some changes as well. So I was not living a life that was congruent with my values, but I didn't have the confidence for a long time to be able to make those decisions. So living in your why is all about having enough confidence to do it. That's the key thing, is having enough confidence to do it. When you have the confidence, you're able to commit to it. So you have to understand who you are, why you're unique, what you're passionate about, what makes you excited to get up in the morning, who do you love, what did you dream of being as a kid, what have you always wanted to do, is there a dream inside you that you haven't let out, or that you can't get out, or that won't come out? And here's the big one. Are you scared to live in your why? If you are scared to live in your why, you're not alone. If you're not scared to make big changes in your life, then you're probably not human. So this is really a a very normal thing to be scared to make these big changes. So this is where it gets a little dicey. You may be completely confused, scared, or even turned off by the idea of digging in deeply to uncover your values so that you can build the right business and live the right life. If so, this 12 steps is probably not for you because it's all based from this point forward. But if it makes sense so far and you're intrigued by this idea of having a business that supports your life, say yes in the chat box. That's what I'm wanting to hear from you. Encourage me to go forward with this. Say yes in the chat box if you want to hear more about this. And if not, if you decide this doesn't make sense to you, understand. If you want to leave, I understand. But I encourage you to be open-minded for the next few minutes because this is the first of the 12 steps that we'll walk through because they are the fundamental building blocks of any successful business. This is Dennis. I want to talk to you about Dennis for a second. Dennis is not a typical woo-woo guy. He's a very practical, methodical, and guy with a hunting and fishing outdoor recreation business that books big dollar trips around the world. This is what he said about discovering his why through our Clarity program. By the way, Dennis landed $1 million contract because he was able to focus, keeping his eye on what was important to him and his family after doing this. So he says, instead of pursuing every opportunity that popped up and wasting my time and resources on unproductive ventures, I focused on those that fit my core values that David and I had defined during the course. By achieving that clarity, I landed our biggest client to date within a month of completing the course. I highly recommend not only the course, but his continuing coaching and mentorship for anyone who wants to truly understand how to get focused on their business and their life. This is all about understanding that big why. So this is step one. This is just step one that we're talking about, understanding your big why. And I want to make sure that you understand that what we do from this point forward is based on making sure that you are working in a business that makes you happy and fulfilled. That's the key to all of this. So the next step is step two, the big debate. This is the big debate among all marketers online. So the question is, should you focus on passion or money? A lot of folks who are successful online marketers say, forget passion, go where the money is. We say, go where the passion and the money is. We want you to do both. It's just not a debate with us. We want both, money and passion. If we pursue money and passion together, we can create a business that lasts a long time, that we enjoy even longer. That's the key, that you enjoy even longer. It's really important to picture yourself in your business in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's the important piece. Make sure you're working in a passion that you love and that you are in a market that you can make money in. So that's what we do. Step two is all about niche research. Step two helps us validate that there's a market for your passion, and we drill down into that niche that is ripe with buyers. We want to make sure we find those buyers. And step two training, and with the step two training, we are digging deeply with an over-the-shoulder look to determine how to do that. This is what Art said just recently about our step two training. I think Art said it best here. I have to tell you, Jen, and this was an email he sent to Jennifer, I have to tell you, Jen, that yesterday's session was one of the best presentations on niche selection, base keyword phrase research that I have ever seen. You two excel with the look over my shoulder type presentations when you're both engaged from your point of view. Incredibly helpful and informative. Thank you. So I appreciate that. Art, we really dug into that, and I thought we had a lot helping people as well on that training. So step three is a really simple concept. It's just not easy. It's a really simple concept. It's just not easy. And you know, by the way, if you're not doing this because you bounce from thing to thing. That's a result of not being focused, of not focusing on your one thing, not even understanding what your one thing is and being able to do just that. So this one is about habit building. Step 3 is about habit building. You want to be in the habit of building focus, using all the tricks and tools that we provide for you to get more done and have more time to yourself. When you're focused and you're focused on the one thing that you need to be doing, then you will end up with more time and less attraction to bright, shiny object stuff. So one of the things we tell you is to prioritize everything. That seems like an impossible task. I understand that. But using the urgency and importance matrix that we provide, you'll see how you sift through your tasks every day to increase your efficiency and to get the right things done. The key question you have to ask yourself every day is, what's the one thing I need to do today to move me toward my goals? Now, there's only one business strategy, and that's step 4, is the business strategy that you have to focus on. And that business strategy is recurring income. Now remember, we're building a simple, scalable, and sustainable business. We're building this little wall over here, one brick at a time. So we want recurring income. Recurring income is the business model you want to make sure that you're adding into your business at every chance. So as you create multiple streams of income over time, you create a more diversified yet simplified and secure foundation for the life that you want to live. There's an art to doing this, but the first step is to recognize, as my friend Matt Basak says, if it does not recur, it does not occur. That's really important. If it does not recur, it does not occur. Recurring income needs to be one of your prioritized focuses of your business. You're going to build this scalable, simple, scalable, and sustainable business. By the way, I've got these building blocks moving forward in the recurring income streams, showing you how to do that. If you'd like to see how to build recurring income stream using these building blocks, type yes in the chat box. I need to hear from you. Again, type yes in the chat box if you want to see that. The next thing is building blocks for recurring diversified income streams. Yeah, I thought you might want to see that. We're getting a lot of yeses in here now. So, yeah, great. So we'll take a look at that on the next slide. So it's really simple. It's these 3 elements that we call from start to profit. This was from my friend Lynn Terry, one of our first NAMS instructors, and she said this is the first NAMS workshop, and I'll never forget it. Build each line of your business from start to profit. What that means is you must use a simple building block of just 3 elements to create a stream of income. They are sales page, confirmation page, download page. Don't get too much more complicated than that. It's really that simple. And if you think of everything in the simple terms, you realize how easy it is to build a simple stream of income. A sales page, a confirmation page, and a download page. Now listen, I didn't say that these had to be yours either. You just need to make sure that part of the selling process is a sales page, confirmation page, and download page. So you don't have to think about creating products at this point. You don't have to have an infrastructure at this point. You don't have to have the other stuff, all that other stuff that we seem to get stuck in all the time at this point. And so this is the key concept here. You're in this step, you are still keeping it as simple as possible to make sure that you can still build income and diversified income as we go. So this is what we're looking at in the building recurring income. When we think of this, we look at these 2 layers. This is how it works. It's a simple structure, and we basically have 2 layers. The top layer being the marketing layer, and the second is the delivery layer. This is the marketing layer at the top. This is the delivery layer at the bottom. In the marketing layer, you have all of your selling. This is where all of the selling happens in the marketing layer. You know, this is the sales page, the blog post, the books, the podcast, and the advertising and other forms of persuasive content that you put in the marketing layer to drive people to take advantage of the transactions that you're offering them. So the delivery layer is where we like to live because it's tangible, it's fun, it's where you build product and you're building your programs. You know, we can get really sucked into this because it's like building a house. You can actually see it rising in front of you. You know, in the delivery layer, we focus on the technology, including websites, blogs, shopping carts, autoresponders, merchant accounts, and all that other technical stuff that seems so huge. Those things live in the delivery layer. And this is where it can get really overwhelming really fast. Several people told us that they were stuck with the technology. That's the delivery layer, stuck in the technology. So when you build one stream of income, in a scalable and successful business, you continue to do the rinse and repeat, so that each one of these products in the bottom, or let's say streams of income, not just a product here because it could be somebody else's stream of income, what you do is you start building additional ones. Rinse and repeat. That becomes the delivery layer for you, just delivering additional value, additional sales. So I'm going to show you a little bit later how you can build out this scalable system with no infrastructure, no products of your own, and very little of the marketing layer even. Type yes in the chat box if you want to see that, because I think that that's going to be something really interesting for you. Type yes in the chat box if you want to move forward to see that one. Okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate that. So right now, let's talk about the relationships. That's the next step. Step 5. You're always building relationships. Customers, vendors, partners. These are the relationships that are key to your success. And these relationships will grow your business exponentially. All these relationships grow your business exponentially. So you want to be able to find folks and introduce yourself so that you become known in your niche. So how do you do that? You attend events. You purchase other products from other potential partners. You join Facebook groups or forums. You become incredibly helpful in those groups so that you get to know, so that you get known as the go-to person. Listen, affiliate marketing and joint venture marketing, by the way, is a really great way of building relationships. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go too. And then they will help you in your later process. So don't underestimate the value of these relationships as you move through your day. You want to make sure that you're focused on relationships all the time. So now we're moving into another phase of this 12 steps. This is where you will spend most of your time once you've completed the defining steps, the previous ones that we've taken a look at, that we've talked about in steps 1 through 5. So your job is clear at this point. Your job is list building, traffic generation, tweaking the conversion numbers, and tracking all of your numbers, keeping that pipeline filled with new prospects all the time. So you've moved into another phase. This other phase is all about list building and traffic generation, because that, and it really comes down to the pipeline. You want to focus on the pipeline itself, keeping that bad boy filled all the time. So we talked about eliminating most of that delivery layer and part of the marketing layer earlier. So this is where it happens. It's called affiliate marketing. And this is step 6. Now, some of you are going to say, ooh, affiliate marketing, I don't want to do affiliate marketing because it's sales, it's whatever it is. You have a bad taste in your mouth about affiliate marketing for some reason, or you think your niche doesn't have the kind of products or the kind of relationships where affiliate marketing works. I guarantee you it works in every niche. Even the offline businesses use affiliate marketing. You want to find someone who has a product that is in your niche, that fits your model, and you want to create that relationship, and you want to get people, you want to drive people to an opt-in page prior to the affiliate offer as you add value yourself, whether it's kind of a walkthrough or a tour or some tips on how to use the product that they might buy, so that you can start building your list. And then you let the product producer handle the infrastructure, including the delivery of the product as well as the support. Now you're building your list, so the next thing you want to do is you want to communicate with them and add more value and keep building your list. And you get paid to do this with affiliate commissions. It's really a wonderful thing. So remember, we looked at the marketing layer before and the delivery layer, and they still exist when you're working with an affiliate product creator, but your only role is to drive traffic to it. The product creator has the funnel in place, and you just want to get the people in the front door as much as possible. That's driving traffic to the front door. If you remember, in that delivery layer, we showed you all of the technology and infrastructure that's required to deliver the products that you that have been created. That's where the value is from the digital products. That's where the digital products live. It's in the delivery layer. But fortunately for you, with an affiliate marketer, as an affiliate marketer, a delivery layer completely disappears because you are no longer responsible for the product delivery. The product creator is. That eliminates a huge part of your business. That eliminates a huge part of the things that stop you from making money. You want to make money. It's up here in the marketing layers where you're making the money. So you want to do as much of that as possible, driving traffic. Okay, so if your goal is to create recurring income and to do as little as possible to generate as much cash as possible and as little time as possible to support your lifestyle and grow your business with the least amount of expense and infrastructure, affiliate marketing is a no-brainer. You need to get involved in affiliate marketing in some way. Not as an IM, not in the make money online niche, but in your niche. It exists in almost every niche. You just have to look a little harder and dig a little deeper sometimes to find programs to incorporate into your marketing efforts. I assure you, they are there. It's always great, by the way, when you find programs that will pay you recurring commissions, like membership sites or referrals over a period of time, so that if you send somebody into a program and you get referrals for or commissions for any purchase they make, those are the kind of programs you really want to focus on. And we have a lot more information about that in our Found Money course, so that you can figure out how to drive more recurring income. So I said on the last slide that that should have given you a hint about what the next step is, and that's traffic. Traffic is something you have to drive into the front door of any sales funnel. You're driving people in. Step 7 is all about traffic generation. You hear this all the time. If I only have enough traffic, then I could have a much bigger business and make a lot more money. Everybody wants more traffic. Everybody wants more traffic. And of course, this is partially true. If you do have more traffic, your opportunity to make more money is huge. So getting more and more traffic it's your job every day. That's what you do, is get more traffic. There's many ways to get more traffic and to set up more traffic funnels so that you create those opportunities for selling your products and selling other people's products. But 3 of the most common are to borrow, buy, or barter for your traffic. You borrow people's traffic, you buy other people's traffic, or you barter for their traffic. And we go into a lot of detail about that as well. So when you can generate massive amounts of traffic, like I say here on the slide, you'll never starve online. Because as long as you can do the rest of these steps, you're going to be building a really scalable and sustainable business. Traffic is essential to building your business, your online business, and it's the thing that keeps your pipeline filled. So traffic is essential, but conversions are even more essential. You can have all the traffic in the world and have no business at all if you're not having conversions. So conversions is where the profit happens. This is where you spend a lot of your time figuring out how to tweak conversions from 0.5% to 1%, from 1% to 2%, from 2% to 3%, and so on. And if you're driving traffic to your site, you find out right away that the better you are at tweaking conversions and optimizing your pages, the more money you're going to make. So you drive a little bit of traffic, and the very next step is to start tweaking those conversions. That's how you scale your traffic and your conversions. A conversion happens when a prospect does what you want them to do in your online funnel. That could be opting into your landing page, or getting your free report, or purchasing your first offer. Maybe it's an upsell. It's anything. It's anything. You want to measure every conversion point where there's a call to action. Understanding and optimizing your conversions is where you spend a lot of time. So, to understand your conversions, you've got to track your numbers. So that's step 9. Business is, at its simplest, is a numbers game. You track the cost of a certain number of widgets and the price at which they are sold, and hopefully the difference is your profit. That's how you've tracked your numbers. That seems incredibly easy, but unfortunately there are a ton of numbers involved in every funnel and dozens of conversion points. So it's really important to get the numbers using the right tools. We go into those tools and into the processes of tracking numbers in the deeper training for the 12 steps to building a better business. So step 10 then is that rinse and repeat. Do it again. Step 10 makes complete sense. When we talk about simple, scalable, and sustainable, this step is the key. We call this rinse and repeat. You get your first stream of income working, profitable, and then you create another. Now you have 2. Once the second stream of income is profitable, you create another. Now you have 3. And what's the benefit of this? Obviously, the more streams of income you have, the more cash flow you create. As a business owner, there's nothing I like more than cash flow. But the not so obvious benefit is that the more streams of income you have, the more solid your business becomes, because it's impervious to a downturn. It's recession proof. If you don't have 10, if you do have 10 streams of income, and one goes bad because the market turns down, you only lose 10%. That's only 10%. If you have one stream of income and it goes bad, you're down 100%. In other words, you're out of business. So the importance of focusing on a scalable and sustainable business model is something I learned very early on in my business when a business that I had that was a hosting company went bad. And when you get the 12 steps to building a better business training online, I'm going to tell you the entire story there, how you understand that worked. So you're probably thinking, well, finally we're getting to product creation, right? At step 11. Well, this may be a little strange that step 11 is product creation, because you probably, like most people who come to online business, think that creating a product, the very first thing, is the thing you need to do. But what you've been doing up to this point is learning how to market and sell products. Market and sell products. That's the key. Hopefully you've been selling other people's products so that you have gotten really good at driving traffic, and you're understanding conversions, and you're creating as many streams of income as possible up to this point, even before you start thinking about creating your own products. You've been working in your niche that you're passionate about, and you've been creating relationships all along. You've become the go-to person in that passionate niche group that can help other people when they have the issues. So now you've seen everybody else's products as well, because you've been in those groups, and you know the problems with those products. You're in a unique position at this point because you can actually create a product that fills the gaps of those other products in your niche. You know how to market and sell, by the way. And you have the relationships with the people who have been waiting for you to create those products, because you are the expert. You've been the one doing the studying. You've been the one being helpful. You've been the one building the reputation. Even though you haven't created your own products yet, you're in a really comfortable position to begin to do that. You're making money already with other people's products. So you have a solid financial base at this point. So that's what's happening when you get to step 11. Creating the product itself is really easy. You can do that over a weekend. And you have a lot of confidence about it because you have truly become the expert. And more importantly, you know how to sell this bad boy because you have the relationships and you see what other people are doing. And you've been building a list all along. Remember that? You've been building a list all along. So you've got people to sell your product to. So now it just becomes another one of your streams of income, and it is a very profitable stream of income as well. So we're up to step 12, joint ventures. This is where you bring in all those relationships with all those people that you've been meeting and introducing yourself and getting to know and supporting and helping and selling all along the way. All of those affiliate products you sold for other product owners, those are now your partners. And remember that you became the go-to guy in the niche. So now's the time for you to tell them about your product and set up an affiliate program for them to sell your product so that you have more people driving traffic for you. This is all about the relationships and all about the joint venture partners and all about the win-win relationship, the win-win for both of you. You each make money by sharing your products that you've created. This is a natural flow. This whole process has become a natural flow. Congratulations are in order because you've now become a force to be reckoned with in your niche.
Hey there, David Perdue here. I'm the founder and CEO of NAMS Inc. We produce this training that you've just completed. We have one goal at NAMS. That's to help you build a simple, scalable, and sustainable business. And it doesn't matter what your business experience is. We want you to grow your revenue always, starting today. But right now, I've got a simple question for you. Wouldn't you love to get more great training like this when you need it on any business topic? You're probably thinking a massive library of resources and tools like that at your fingertips would cost $1 gazillion. But no, it doesn't. And I want to show you how to get started today for just $1. Go to nams.ws/12. That's N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, M as in Mary, S as in Sam, dot. W as in Walter, S as in Sam, /12. That's the MyNAMS Insiders Club. And when we say club, you're going to feel welcomed by your new team as the latest member. The team is a core part of what we teach. We all need people around us to support us, validate our ideas that work really well, and hold us accountable when they don't. The Insiders Club is built around the team training and tools concept. You get all you need in one place to move your business to the next level. The core training is based on 12 monthly challenges in essential business areas. It includes a 4-hour teaching and implementation session with a recognized expert. Each challenge contains 30 daily video tasks that run between 3 and 8 minutes each to help you master that topic. Those include list building, business operations, easy publishing, email marketing, creating passive income, simple product creation, traffic mastery, content creation, affiliate and partner marketing, video marketing, outsourcing solutions, and social marketing. But that's not all. In addition to a private Facebook group where your new team meets on a regular basis to help you with those and other topics, we have a weekly call every Thursday for insiders only to discuss what works in your business, as well as to show you exactly what works in the MyNAMS business. You see and hear things on this call straight from the trenches that you hear nowhere else. Plus, you get even more training in your library when you need it in the form of 24 or so micro workshops. Those are 4-hour training sessions on essential topics such as persuasive storytelling. More than a dozen custom tutorials on essential tools that we think you should be using like Evernote, Google Apps, FreeMind, Aweber, and many others. Hundreds of tech tutorials to help you understand things like cPanel, FTP, DNS, iPhone email setup, hosting, and many others. And I've not even mentioned the content resources we give you. This is a library of incredible resources 10 years in the making. And you can get inside to check out that library for 14 days for just $1. Our goal is that you never need any other training resource when you give us a try. So go to nams.ws/12. Let me spell that again so you can write this down. N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, M as in Mary, S as in Sam, dot, W as in Walter, S as in Sam, /12. And again, this is David Perdue, and I really hope to see you on the inside.